Hello, everybody. I think I'm live. I'm about a minute earlier, so somebody can tell me if they hear me. I'll tell you right now, I think I'm going to look for this, if this RTY rolls back up here. Crossover retest. No, we're done. No. All right. Anyways, I'm here. Uh, so this morning so far is rather similar to yesterday, where we had a big news announcement at 8:30 that just magically went to the prior day low and then back up. Sometimes you look at that stuff and you just laugh. But anyways, and you got the same thing. I mean, it's comical, guys. Once you figure out that this stuff is moved on purpose to specific spots, you'll start understanding better where I came up with this strategy. But look at the ES, same thing, right there. Boom, to the overnight open, then back up. The 8:30 news. But anyways, so what I'm going to try to do today, I haven't fixed the issue with the video being clearer. Like I'm still at 720 or whatever the heck it is. I don't even know. Yeah, 720. I haven't even looked into how to get it to 1080. I'll work on that later. I just got heavily distracted yesterday afternoon and didn't spend any time trying to figure this stuff out. So what I'm going to pay attention to. Wow, look at gold. Jeez, look at gold. Yeah, it may have done a nice red line crossover right there. Yeah, it did. Jesus. Got to get my head into the game here. We broke these pivots over here to the left. Crossed over, also came back after a crossover of the 1 minute gold line, and then boom, there we go. So anyways, let me see here. So the only one that's broken out of I shouldn't say only one. RTY has broken out of its box that was created from the news, and NQ has run out of its box that was created from the news. There's the NQ one. Overnight open, blink up, just like the ES. But anyways, so the only one that's broken out of its box since the news were those two. The ES has not. It's still inside that box that was created. Really should have been looking at this trade right here. I should have been looking at that trade. I wasn't really paying attention. One of the other things is I'm going to try today to not look at the chat so that I can focus on trade setups. So hopefully I don't miss some decent trade setups. I missed one yesterday in the NQ. Granted, it didn't have the follow through that I needed, but okay, good news. The ES finally broke out of that box. So let's just hope we can start going into a different realm. If we stay inside the box that was created from the news, I just find that we don't get the rotations that I normally am looking for. So hopefully we can start doing that, because it's like all the different levels and stuff have been cleaned out of their stops and or their buys from all that ridiculousness. And then it just seems to not ever do anything. So hopefully we can start moving. The problem with the ES right now, even though it broke out of the top, I'm going to show this, is that it has no room to the top because it's going to run right into the prior day high. But you never know, if it picks up some pace, it might come and rotate on top of it and give us a trade, something along those lines. Again, it's kind of like I said, I always like to look. I always like to look forward to see something that might work in any of these four instruments. The other thing I told you is that since this is only my second day of trying to do a live stream, and yesterday being my half-ass first attempt, I have my accounts set on sim mode right now. So that's why I have, like, right up here, it's a sim account. I had to create a sim account in my Ninja. And so I'm in sim for now. My sim account is at $1,997.40. I did take a trade yesterday in the MNQ, and I got stopped out for like a, whatever, $2 loss or something. Yeah, you might have a crossover retest in the NQ. You might. You finally have all of them you finally have, with the NQ crossing back over the red line, you do finally have all of them on the same side of the NQ, the red line. You finally have all of them there. Wow, nice little spike there. Nice little spike there. Let's see here. We only have a 1.5 points until the ES runs into the prior day high, which is going to be resistance, at least initially. So I don't expect the equities themselves to run the other two, especially the NQ. These two, they have a tendency to mirror each other, almost candle for candle, color for color. Not the pattern with the moving averages, but the candles themselves. So the ES and the NQ. The RTY has a tendency to be its own Lone Ranger. It'll sometimes have its own mind. It helps if it's moving. It helps if it's moving in the same direction as the other markets, but it does tend to have its own mind. It's almost to the prior day high too. All right. Oh, shoot. ES just hit the prior day high. Okay. ES just hit the prior day high. Man, I got too many things going on right now. Let me shrink this down and see what's going on in the... Yeah, we just hit the prior day high in the ES. That is good news. All right, that is good news. We are definitely coming out of the box that was created from the news at 8:30. This is actually really good news. We just might be able to start getting something here. We might start getting something here. Okay, I'm going to bring, hold on here. Damn it. I got too many things on the same screen. I am going to, because gold has gone a little bit quiet right now, I'm going to move it out of the way. And I'm going to bring the ES over because we might actually have an ES trade set up here. What would be nice, because we have a crossover here, what would be nice is if that gold line comes up and simultaneously we come down and do a 1 minute gold line and a crossover retest to the long side. That would be really nice. Just I kind of like to have a couple things doing the same thing at the same time. We could possibly do that here. Yeah, we could possibly do that here. That would be nice. All right, we are at the prior day high in the ES, the rollover. I would like to see it pierce it. I'd like to see it pierce it. Come on. Oh, come on, ES. Quit being stupid. Come on. Come on. Come on back. It literally touched it. Are you going to roll up from there? Get out of here. Thank you. Come on, roll down. Roll down, ES. Boy, gold has just gone to sleep. Ah, man. What are you doing, ES? What time we got? 9:57? Yep, 9:57. All right. Jesus. All right. So RTY itself has just hit the prior day high. Let's get that up here. Just kind of look at it right here. This would be the much better instrument, by the way, to go up, create space, sit, and go. This would be my preferred instrument to do this. By far my preferred instrument to do that. But I'm willing to accept an ES crash down from 72 to 65 right now and then a rejection. I am definitely willing to take that too. So either one. I equate trading to hunting, if any of you have ever hunted before. And, you just kind of like a cat. The cat just sits there. If you ever watch a cat hunt, It just sits there and stares and stares and stares and stares and stares until it sees the absolute opportune moment, and then wham, it pounces. And that's what this is. I mean, when we were sitting here looking at this, did I think it was going to go up? Yeah, but am I going to get involved in all this? I didn't want to. I'd rather get a rotation, sit down, something sharp with a big red candle, and then boom, a green rejection the other way. That's what I would rather do. I would rather wait for the opportunity where I don't have to get in and think about it for 5-10 minutes. Am I going to actually get a winning trade or not? All right. This would be this pattern, right? Come on, get this gold line up here and get this to come down, create a nice, the longer the wick down this way, the better. And then wham, that's the trade. If we can just get that, this might do it at the same time over here. That would be even better. This is just meandering, so we don't need to worry about the NQ right now. All right, come on, RTY. Let's see. So this is the high for the prior day, so there's obviously nothing above it. So the rotation we need on the static lines in the RTY is this one, because this is the last one to the upside. Same thing with this one. If they end up staying up north of the high, then we got to look for 1 minute gold lines, that kind of stuff. Only because there's not any lines. All right, come on, RTY, come on. To be perfectly honest with you, the further these go up here, the better the collapse is for the rejection. I know that might sound a little sideways, but if you think about what I'm saying, the further price crosses over, the more deliberate and dynamic the pullback can be to create the rejection back to the long side. There, i.e., more room for us to make money before we even start hitting, say, the current day high or whatever the pivot point to the left. So, I mean, I'm not freaking out that this thing's running away at this point in time. Because it may just create a better trade for us in the long run. May just create a better trade for us in the long run. Keep in mind, we still could have a 1 minute gold line in the ES. And as a side note, for those of you wondering, gold hasn't done a damn thing. Gold hasn't done a damn thing. So we're not missing anything over there. Come on. Come on, guys. Come on, RTY. Come on. Hold down. Oh, all right. Come on. Come on, RTY. Come on. Come on. Come on, RTY. Here you go. Here you go. Let's go. Now, see how we've had this deliberate move up and hopefully a deliberate move down? That's what we're looking for. It's obvious it was run this way, and what we want to see is it obviously be run back. Come on, keep coming. Come on, RTY, come on. Why are you stopping all of a sudden? Let's go. Let's go. There you go. Let's go. Let's go. Keep going. Man, the ES is still going long. What is the possibility of a 1 minute gold line? 48. That's 20 ticks. Come on. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Come on. This is it. This is kind of what we're looking for. Just need it to continue. Have confirmation. Keep going. Come on, RTY. Come on. Man. Oh, man. Yep. All right. I'm going to look for the 1 minute gold line in RTY. If it rolls up here, look at that. Look at how deep they pulled that. Cleaned out those stops there. They just may not be. Ooh. Yeah, I would prefer you to pull down. I'd prefer you to pull down to the prior day high. I would prefer that, but I prefer you to pull down. Nope. I would prefer you to pull down. Yes, pull down. Come on. I'd prefer you to pull down. I got 20 ticks to the upside. Man, that's 2 in a row right there. All right, we're in. 3 candles in a row to the long side. Break the same height. We're in. Come on, RTY. I'm going to defend this candle right here to the left, and I'm probably going to get knocked out, right? Right, guys? Come on. Probably going to get knocked out. Man, ES just keeps going up. Why don't we go up? Come on. Come on. Yeah, hold on. Hold that line. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I'm holding the candle to the left. Roll up. Come on. Oh, this is not good. No, this is not good. Are you serious? Are you going to get me? I'm a tick from it. Yep. God dang it. Well, that was beautiful. Well, that doesn't mean anything. $190. Wow. That doesn't mean anything. Right here. Come on down. That was bad. Placing a bad order, George. My inclination was that we were going to here, but I'm sitting there watching the ES run away, and I'm like, what? Are we going to go there or not? Because the ES just kept going. That was terrible. That was terrible. Come on, RTY. Drill down. Keep going. Keep going down. Keep going. There you go. There you go. All right. All right. Jesus. Come on. Down. Keep going down. Oh, my God. I'm stuck. Keep going down. Keep going down. Down. Oh, you're just garbage now. Come on, keep going down. Down. That was ridiculous. Well, I'm looking at the ES 1 minute gold line right there. I have 2 points to the top. 2 points to the top. That reaction in the RTY is rather confusing. We went 3 times. 3 times to the same level on that RTY. 3 times we went to 4.7. That's because the stream is delayed, Jeffrey. I can't do anything about that unless I go and do something with like GoToMeeting or Discord or something. And I'm just trying to practice this stuff for now before I do something like that. Jojo, you got to email me at goldlinetrades@gmail.com and I can send you the script for the labeled lines. I need to figure out. So we had an inside bar here, 2 inside bars in a row. 1, 2. We had 2 inside bars in a row. So let's go. Let's go, ES. Well, let's go. Come on. Like the last instrument I want to be in right now. But I'm in it. The ES makes me want to pull my hair out. Come on, ES. What the hell? The same pattern. Exact same pattern as the RTY. Exact same pattern. You believe that? Exact same pattern. Unbelievable. Listening from the car. Listening from the car, Jill. That's pretty interesting. I wish I was in the car right now because I'm just throwing money away. Two bad trades in a row, the exact same setup and two different instruments. That is ridiculous. Well, this is interesting right here in the NQ. Ouch. I need this stuff to move. Just doesn't want to move. It's like everything is dormant. It is 9/11. Yes, it is 9/11, so keep that in mind. I'll be right. Hold on. I'll be right back, everybody. Hold on. I got to go refresh my coffee. Well, Patch, I'm just saying that it's you got to remember the bulk of the damage from 9/11 was targeted at the financial district of New York City, i.e., Wall Street. And, they have moments of silence today and things like that. So I'm just making a comment that we may not have the most aggressive market today. Plus, we had all that damn 8:30 news that I can't stand that manipulates the market so early and moves it, and then sometimes just causes it to go to sleep, just like yesterday. I'm out of freaking cream, so my coffee's black now. So I pretty much slow down my coffee drinking. Pretty much slow down my coffee drinking. Now look at that NQ. It just literally just touched the red line and then went up. I mean, come on, man. I need you to pierce it. I need you to move. I wasn't going to take that red line anyways. It didn't like go through it with conviction. It just literally tapped it. Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up, Wayne. I don't like milk in my coffee either. It might as well be black. um, But Wayne, that is why I didn't get any research done on this streaming software, because that was a really bad situation. Really bad. Hadn't seen my wife cry in a long time until yesterday. I knew something was wrong when she came in my office. I suppose it could have been, you know, something even more traumatizing to me personally, but still bad. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna I'm gonna look at this just for the fun of it. Here's gold, and we had a crossover here, and we created, not only a donkey channel, but we broke even the older pivot here to the left. Let me kind of blow this up and look at what's going on. We could potentially be rotating back up into this area. How much room we have here? 74, 80. Oh, we got plenty of room. Plenty of room for sure. Plenty of room for sure. Again, the problem is it's just not moving. It's just sitting there. The markets are pretty darn stale right now. If we can get an inside bar here, that'll be nice. I'd like to see it tick down. Okay. Tick down, and then if it ticks down below that inside bar, there we go. Tick down, and then maybe there we go. Now let me see if I can possibly take this long based off that, because we actually broke down below the inside bar. Maybe it'll run back up now. Come on, gold. Why don't you go up here, please? Come on. Go up. Come on, gold. Let's do something useful for once. Nope. Just going to sit there, aren't you? Come on, gold. All right, let's go, gold. Come on. Let's get some legs. Here we go. Come on, gold. Let's get some legs. Let's get some legs, gold. Come on. Pick up the pace. Let's go. Let's get some legs. Come on, gold. There you go. Let's go. Come on. We're in the preferred direction. It's just no push. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Man, I feel like I'm trading on the 4th of July. Come on, gold. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. All right. Cleaned out some stops from people that took the break. All right. That's a good sign. It's a very good sign. All right. Now let's roll up. Come on. Let's go. Let's get some legs. Oh my gosh. Come on. Let's go, guys. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Well, I got to have my stop here. Yep. Recovery of the Wick. I love that name. Recovery of the Wick. That's exactly what I just said, PMC. It's like the market doesn't even. I said it. I feel like I'm trading on the 4th of July. That's what I literally feel like right now. I feel like I'm trading on the 4th of July, which I don't trade on the 4th of July for this exact reason. I don't trade on the 4th of July for this exact reason, because this is what it feels like right here. I don't know if it's 9/11. I don't know. But it's obvious there's nothing moving. It's just not moving. I'm just forcing things that aren't there that I really shouldn't be doing. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about skipping this week, but because I had a very good Monday and Tuesday. Well, I say that one of those 2 days, I can't remember if it was Monday or Tuesday, but one of those 2 days, I mean, I got knocked around and then made money. I just can't, I'm just not sure. I can't remember what day and I can't remember the scenarios, but it was rough. Yesterday, I literally only identified one possible freaking trade the whole time, and it didn't even follow through the whole time we were streaming. And I missed it, and it didn't even follow through. And today, I mean, the reality of it is this stuff right here should be the sign that I shouldn't even be paying attention to this. It's like I'm just trying to force a trade to happen since we're on the live stream, and that's just stupid. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be doing exactly what I did yesterday, which is just sit here and say, okay, there's nothing. Literally, there was one trade yesterday that I saw potential that set up, and that was in the NQ during the live stream. And you know, and today is no different. I mean, the ES ran, so this is something that, hey, I'm going to take that stab, because look at that big run in the ES, and then we had a situation, but then it just had no leg. And I mean, the NQ, holy cow, I mean, look at this dog. I mean, look at this dog. That is a dog, and the NQ is not known for being a dog. Yeah, well, the Dow did that because similar to the ES, because the big equities were moving. But the problem with let me pull that up. Let me just pull that up. The problem with that, okay, so here's your Dow, which, by the way, where did I put it? Here it is. All right, here we go. Which, by the way, is a very tradable instrument, just FYI. But you know what? Look at it. It did a great job. It actually did a crossover. It actually did a retest of the prior day open. Of course, it did it at 9:39. I don't know that I want to be involved. Did all this consolidation, and then there it went. So like there was no place for us to get in. There was no place for us to get in. I mean, unless you want to risk it here. And this was an inside bar and everything, but even after you got in, it didn't go anywhere. Then it went somewhere. So this to me is just too early in the morning, 9:40. But the YM is definitely a tradable instrument. But I mean, if you'll notice, the pattern on it is very similar to the ES. Once it had that big long run, and then it went sideways. And that's exactly what the ES did. Had a big long run, and then it went sideways. I mean, they're literally the same thing. Big long run, and then they went sideways. That's an interesting move for the ES and the and the YM today. Very interesting. Very interesting move. I must admit, very interesting move. Hey, Richard, how you doing? So I don't know. There just doesn't seem to be anything, you know, anything crisp. It's just like a slow melt up for the ES and the YM. I guess you could basically say RTY kind of did the same thing. It just its pattern was a lot different. Yeah, it was about 950 or so that the RTY decided to take off, and then it just went to sleep, and now it's just a slow melt up. That slow melt up is a non-manipulated move that isn't going to give you good setups. It's good for scalping money, though. I will tell you that. I mean, I think it was 2022. That type of stuff right there, where which was on the ES right here. That type of stuff where price would sit on top of the ES and just kind of keep melting its way up. That's exactly what I used in August and September of 2022 to get my first payout from Apex. That's exactly what I used, was just this rotation up, then used it to go and go back to this pivot here. But it was back in those days. I can't remember specifically, but I think you had to trade, I think it was 20 days before you could even ask for a payout. It was some ridiculous number of days. So I just kind of looked at it as, well, I need to get my balance from 50 grand to 53. So, and I have to trade for 20 days to do it. So I would just wait for situations like this and then just kind of take a break and get like $200 or $150 or whatever, and then shut it down. And I did that for 20 damn days, right? And was ES only. But again, I had a different set of circumstances then. I had 20 days to trade, where I didn't want to take 20 days of which is what Apex wants you to do, which is take 20. The reason they were doing 20 days is they knew that in those 20 days, you're going to do something stupid and cowboyish and blow up your money. They didn't necessarily expect me to have the patience to sit there for 20 damn days and just kind of scalp my way to $3,000. So, because most traders can't do that. So I had to sit there and look at the situation that I was in at the time. And that's exactly how I traded it. Now they got this, I don't even know what the stuff is now. Now it's like what you can pass in a day. So you might as well just take 10. If you see RTY getting a couple candles in a row, I guess you might as well just throw 10 contracts on it and see if you can get $3 grand and be done. And then, I don't even know what the rules are for a payout, but then I do know this. Back when you were doing 20 days, they didn't have the rule that you couldn't get over 30% in a day. So I'm sure some people were just throwing a kitchen sink at it to get their $3 grand in certain accounts, and then just dick and dunk the other 19 days. Now I think about it, I think that's part of the reason they created all the newer rules where you can't get more than 30% in a day and blah, blah, blah. But then I think they shrunk the number of days you got to trade down to like 10 or something. So I don't know. I don't keep up with the rules anymore, obviously. And just like all the other prop firms, they all keep changing their rules around because somebody takes the rules and figures out how to get around, how to get around them. And therefore they have to come up with new rules. If you know what I mean. Anyways, I just don't see anything setting up here right now worth talking about. Needs something to move fast. Gold could potentially, from this point forward, start taking some actual movement and come down to here and then create a rotation. But it's got to, there's a kind of a start here, but it needs to start falling. And it's that when it starts falling type stuff that you can see it happening, and what they're doing is manipulating and clearing out people's stops, and then seeking a point of rotation, which would be, for example, right here, a point of rotation to then go the other way. But right now, to be honest with you, I'm not seeing things being manipulated much. Like here's a big move right here, without a doubt, to the long side, but I don't have any recognition of what caused it with my lines, my moving averages. Heck, it could have been a Fibonacci from here to here. I don't know. I mean, it could have been a fib. I think about it, from here to here and back. Might have been a 50% fib. Doesn't quite look like 50%, but somewhere in that range. But I'm a professional donor of money to the concept of Fibonacci trading. $8 days now? Okay. 8 days. I know for a while it was 10. So now it's 8. Okay. And no more than 30% of the day. All right. Yeah, I know for a while it was 10. And then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Recovery, didn't they come up with some rule also that like you're like they try to identify if you're just dicking and dunking to get a day? I think there's some rule about that too. Like if you get your 30%, then your 30%, your 30%, then it's like, okay, for the remaining, say, 4 days, you just dick and dunk. I think they had a rule for that. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, this is a 5-minute red line in gold to the long side potential, but I want to see something more right now. I'm not. And I'm done with everything else, man. Everything else is above the high. So all the equities are above the high. See that? And so right now there's really no reason to be looking at any of them. I did get rid of that YM, right? Oh, no, I didn't. Hold on. Let me get rid of the YM. What am I missing? The MNQ. Oh, yeah. The dog that's not moving. Oh, it did start moving. Holy cow. But it's not through the high. Ooh. Okay, hold on. Gold might be doing what I asked it to do finally. Okay, maybe. See, here we go. Maybe. Keep going, gold. Keep going. Yeah, I don't know either. Recovery about flipping. I don't know. I just think there's some kind of something about that. I don't know. And then there's I don't know. I get these commercials on my YouTube, when I'm watching YouTube, because I watch YouTube YouTube is my source of entertainment, TV, whatever. I get those commercials where they come on and they tell you, buy an account and I don't know the details, but send us the information and our AI algo will trade it for you, and when you get a payout, you pay us 30%. and I'm and I'm thinking, and they even reference in the video that there's people doing this, using it on Top Step and stuff like that. I'm like, what? Like that's. I mean, I'm not a friend. I've said this many times on my channel. I am not a friend of prop firms, but I also know that stuff like that just makes it more difficult to do business for somebody learning how to trade with a prop firm, because you got people trying to circumvent the system to take the money from the prop firms. And again, I'm not a friend of the prop firms. I'm just stating there's a lot of benefit to using them when you're learning how to trade, but there's and it's very inexpensive to use them compared to live accounts. But prop firms, they don't need to be undermined in the process of offering these services. They don't need to be undermined, because if they're going to be undermined, then they just make the rules for those doing things honestly more difficult. That's why you may get a request from Apex. I've heard this before. Send us a video of you trading. Give us detailed description of your trading strategy. The reason they're doing all that is because of things like that. Because the person that's trying to get the payout is not the person pushing the buttons. Hell, it may not even be a person pushing the buttons. May not even be a person sitting in front of the screen. And, that defeats the purpose. For those of you that are sitting here watching because you want to learn a strategy, then you're doing things the right way. I mean, you're not trying to circumvent the system. And I do not want anybody to take the last few sentences of my words and portray me as being a friend of the prop firms, because I'm not. I'm just stating the fact. Gold, what are you doing? Why did you stop doing what you were doing? You were in the process of doing something rather nice, and then you just stopped. Just randomly. I am not taking a crossover short off the red line. Not in gold. Not in gold. I mean, this thing may rotate down to the prior day open, but I'm not taking a crossover red line short in gold. That's probably the first step to insanity. Way too many buyers in gold lately. Way too many buyers in gold. But I can assure you one thing about prop firms: it has created a lot of people to at least entertain the thought of learning to trade that never would have necessarily entertained the thought. And I see that as a good thing. I see that as a good thing for people. I mean, every person should have something in their life that they're trying to improve upon in some way, shape, or form on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, or whatever it may be. Even if it means being a better neighbor to your neighbors, something. And trading is something that keeps your mind, you keeps your mind thinking, keeps you, for those of you that catch the fever of it, gets your energy going to learn and be better and all that stuff. Yeah, James, there's a delay because I'm not in what is it called? I'm not in Discord with this. I'm in the process of just learning how to be live trading, which is not something I've ever done. So yeah, well, there's a delay right now. RTY, would you please just beeline to the prior day high? Just beeline to it. See some potential here? See that potential here? If we can just get this thing to pick up some pace and head back here. We didn't test it. We didn't test it after the crossover. We missed it by 3 ticks on the down. And, frustrating as it may be, that sure does lend itself to be a potential place to be tested. I'm going to move gold out of the way here so I can see it better. I need to move it on a different screen so I can actually watch it in case it does roll down and test the prior day open. I want to be able to see that. Let me move the ES out of the way. Let me move RTY up here. So right now, the two things I'm staring at are the potential of gold running down to the prior day open. I did not want to take the crossover short on gold of the 5-minute red line. I just did not feel comfortable taking that thing short. And possibility of the RTY rotating down, which doesn't look like it's going to do it. But I don't know. Just something's got to start moving. Like, look at these MNQ candles. Look at these MNQ candles right here for whatever number of minutes that is. I mean, come on. What is that? All right, there we go. Come on, RTY. Come on. Move. 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 I want to see something move. Whew. Come on, RTY. Come on. By the way, tomorrow I'm not going to have a live stream. I have to go to the factory and meet a customer and do a factory tour and finalize their options for their house. Funny story about that is I had scheduled the customer to be there at a different time, which would allow me to uh, do the live stream. Then uh, I got a phone call yesterday from the factory saying, "Hey, Bob, so and so dealer really needs to be able to go through the factory at that time that you were scheduled. Um, can it's up to you, but are you willing to give that slot up and just come at a different time?" And I said, "Hey, let me check with my customer, make sure it's okay." So I contacted my customer yesterday and she was like, "Yeah, Bob, that's fine. We can change the time to whatever, you know, change the time from what was to this new time." So I called the factory back. I said, "Yep, we're good to go. I'm willing to change my time." Now I'm going to tell you something in my industry. I'm going to tell you right now, no other retailer would have done that for me. That's just how these people are that are in this business. But I did it because I'm a nice person in reality. So, anyways, fast forward about an hour later, the factory called me up and said, "You are not going to believe it. That dealer asked to switch back with you because they wanted to, because of this, this, and this." And I said, "What?" And they said, don't worry. We told them, no, we already switched it once. It's either this time or none. I mean, it's like, you already asked me as a dealer to another dealer to do a favor that 90% of the dealers I know would have told you to go pound sand. And I said, yes. But then you had the audacity to turn around and ask me to change it again. Oh, God. The people in my industry are just unbelievable. But I mean, again, no dealer would have ever made a convenient swap with me. Just to be honest with you, none of them ever would have. But I was nice enough to. Only because my customer said she could switch times. So if my customer said no, then that would have been it. Anyway, so tomorrow I've got to leave here in the morning and head down to the factory. And finish designing this woman's house. I'll tell you right now, the housing business has been a little slow for me lately. Stuff is just kind of getting a little dormant. Not just me, the factories are calling all the time, begging me for business. There is no business, man. What do you want me to do? Create business that doesn't exist? I'm not foreseeing anything happening here. It's 11 o'clock, 11:02. And now 11:03, and we're just not moving. We are just not moving. Speaking of factories, one just messaged me. Of course. I don't know. Time is it 11? Yeah. All right, guys. I'm not Unless something starts moving here, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I guess I'm going to have to call it a day. The RTY's got a little bit of oomph to it right here. If it would just start moving. I hope you guys don't hear my dog snoring in the background. That's how slow the markets are. My dog is snoring. Snoopy. Is it Snoopy or Lucy? Which one's snoring? Oh, it's Lucy. Oh yeah. Yeah, Lucy. That makes more sense. She's the bigger snorer for sure. Yeah, my female Boston Terrier does snore louder than my male. Hey, Trader Ronnie. Come on, RTY. If you would just come down, give us something to hang our hat on, someplace to rotate back to the high, that would be nice. That would be nice. But you got to move. I don't want you to walk there. Come on, RTY. Come on, keep moving. Well, we're kind of moving. Come on. We're kind of moving. Come on, man. Come on, RTY. Come on. Come on. Do something. Yeah, I don't. Kisley Cannon. I ruined the name. Yeah. 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 I agree 100%. That is, by the way, that's an example of where trading in a prop firm doesn't necessarily fix bad habits. Is because like mentally, I'd be looking at, I lost, let's say $300, but I only have a $30 account. You know what I mean? And therefore, I just start, for all intents and purposes, start pushing buttons to get my $300 back, and that doesn't
Ryan.
that doesn't make it better for you when you are a trader. Not perfect. Thank you. I would definitely. Well, if it doesn't, according to the red line, if it doesn't meander, but it just keeps, it's got to start picking up the pace a little. If it gives me a pivot at the red line, I would definitely be looking at it for the RTY. But you got to be willing to take a loss there, because they may be rotating it to here also, because they never tested the prior day high. So you got to be willing to take a loss there if it gives you a valid setup. But it really has to kind of start moving for me to be interested in a red line, because it's not really moving. I mean, and it's not moving really at all. But of all the instruments, it's moving the most. Of all the instruments, it's the one moving the most right now. Yeah, of all the instruments, it's the one moving the most. Somebody keeps texting me. Yeah, all the instruments, it's the one moving the most. But even like then all of a sudden it goes into, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles in a row where it's not moving. It's like, after just moving, probably about 7, 8 candles straight down, not much distance, but they moved at least straight down. Damn it. The cool part about that situation, Richard, by the way, just let me put this in perspective, is let's just hypothetically say that it did start rotating down because the market wasn't in the 9/11 mode, I think. Jesus, my phone, sorry. Is that, and this is what is the step that I feel really great about, that I've kind of gotten myself to, is when it goes there, if it goes there, and it does its dance around here at the daily high, and then it rotates, and then I can get myself, I can get my stop slowly working my way up to when we get back on top of the 9 EMA and get my stop, say at even or whatever. I'm now looking at a trade for conversational purposes. Okay. I'm now looking at a trade that if it rotates, you're here in, say, at 2402. Okay. This thing could easily go 24.10, 24.12, 24.14, 24.16, back to the high when the market's actually doing something. So now all of a sudden, your 2 contract trade, even at 24.10, is $800. When the market's being deliberate, when it's doing what you would expect it to be doing versus what it's doing right now, which is, literally nothing. So potentials, looking at this scenario right here, potentials. If we break this pivot right here to the long side, create space, and then sit on top of the gold line here, there's potential that it's going to roll back to the current high. But if it does not break this pivot, I wouldn't be looking for that at all. And again, I'm just talking about, it's way past 1 minute gold line trade territory, but I'm just talking out loud. We are in a trending day. So the market has a tendency to follow the gold line. Whenever you're trending, it either follows it on the bottom or it follows it on the top. If it breaks this pivot, it should start following it on the top. That's what I'm saying. But it's not necessarily a tradable event for me if I'm sitting here with a live money account. But it is a low risk trade to make some money. I got to check these. Yeah. Okay, so here we are. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, the MNQ is now. See, the MMQ went straight into the prior day high, so it's going to have some resistance there. Yeah, I really like Richard. I'm going to be honest with you. I really like my developing mentality outside the prop firms. For example, the trade I screwed up, I think it was on Monday, because I accidentally moved my stop above price. And I think you guys remember, you might have seen it in the video. But anyways, that was a $900 trade that I waited patiently for, got myself in, and then shoot, straight to the target that I called. $900 trade. Now, if I hadn't screwed it up with my, dragging my stop up, boom, basically my week is over already in one day. I think that was Monday. So yeah, that's exactly it. I never would have done that big of an attempted trade in a prop firm. I just wouldn't have. But in a live account, yeah, it's all about slaying the dragon once or twice a week, and then keeping yourself from getting punched in the face the rest of the week if you're even going to try. That's part of the reason why, until I develop even more, but I want the mindset of me getting, $1,000 and then be done. so that I don't, I have found over the years, the longer you trade, the more likely you are to give it away, to give it back. So I have the attention span that I can focus long enough to see, like that $900 trade that set up in, I believe it was the RTY. No, or was it gold? I can't remember what instrument it was, but that set up last week. And, boom, there you are, you know. This pattern that's sitting right here, right now with RTY is exactly the pattern that happened in gold about 10 minutes ago, where they created a shelf and whatnot, like this one right here. Then they blew through it, created space, and then rotated, and it's off and running. It went 50 ticks that trade did. So, I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, okay, the 9 EMA should hold. You got, you can't see it, but the ES is still long over here running. So, the situation is long here. So even though it is a 1 minute gold line and it's late at this time, we are in a trending market. The 9 EMA is a good instrument to work on a trending market where the market's just slow and meandering. I mean, I'm just screwing around with sim money, not live, but there it goes. There it goes. Let's see here. What is this at? 14, 12, 16. So that's 23 ticks. It should rotate it, hopefully, at least up to there. Beep, 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 beep. Nope. It's just going to sit on this 9. Is that what it's going to do? I have no idea. This is the gold one I'm talking about right here. See, gold had this shelf, broke it, created that space, and then meandered its way all the way back to its high. It rotated, created this shelf, blew up, never touched the gold line, created another break, came back, hit the gold line, and then off it went. And when the market's meandering, like it's doing right now, that gold line ends up, if you're on the top of it, it tends to push it. If you're underneath it, it tends to push it the other way. Here's the NQ, doing its thing. I still believe this is going to go up. But anyways, so like if you going back to the thing I was saying, Richard, is like when you're trading with real money, if you patiently wait for like the scenario I was talking about here, doesn't say it's going to happen, but if it happened, if it had gone from here to here and you hit it, you only had to wait for that one time that happened, and boom, off you go, and you get your $700, $800, $900,000, and then you just, you're done. Just call it a day. Don't get yourself caught up into these things. So now that we're on top of the 9 EMA in RTY, let's just see if it keeps holding it. That's what the ES did. That's what the RTY is doing right now. See how the RT, I mean not the RTY, the NQ. See how the NQ keeps pushing up because there's no real volume. So there's just people buying off the 9. There's no real volume. So it just keeps kind of getting That's what happens when the market's slow. It has a tendency to just keep following the 9. And like I said, 2022, I used, because the market was doing a lot of trending in 2022. I don't remember why, but it was doing a lot of trending in 2022. And so, like after 10:30 or so on the ES, I was just using that 9, basically rotations, space, pull back to it, I was using that 9 as my mechanism to get me slow walked through my PA in actually to and here's the interesting part. I'm going to add the last piece to this. Back in those videos, I had I don't specifically remember the number, but it was more than a month of positive trading days, positive results, either plus $50 or plus $200. But I had over a month in a row of positive trading days, and it was just literally on trending days, where the market's just kind of meandering along, just following the 9 EMA on the ES, which the ES can be a real grizzly bear sometimes. I just said I still have flashbacks of the ES from years ago. The ES was one of the things I first tried to learn how to trade on, and I just used to frustrate the hell out of me because I just didn't know what I was doing, and it was brutal. The NQ's trying to go through the top, and interestingly enough, the one lagging is the RTY, just sitting there, because the ES is going up. The RTY is just sitting on top of that 9 EMA. All right, it's just sitting on the 9 because there's no volume. PMC, there's no volume. So price is just, and of course we're way after 11 o'clock, but there's no volume. So price is just sitting on top of that 9 EMA. It's just sitting on it. And if you go back and look at charts and you'll see where volume is low, you'll notice that is a routine thing in a lot of these equity markets. Is they'll get on one side of that 9 EMA and they'll just stay there, and they'll bounce off of it. Like it's like for those of you that have ever gone bowling and they put the bumpers up on the side of the rails, that's kind of what the 9 EMA becomes to these equity markets when there's no volume. So Avalon, like on the situation you're talking about, your question is, I always um, I always say look to the left, which is the previous pivot that got me to, my entry. So like, so in RTY, if you look at my mouse here, see how we had this pivot here that went back to here. When we were rotating, this is the area where you're going to get resistance again. So you want to, if you blow right through it, that's fine, but you're going to have to be defensive. Now, so like now, if I was in this trade right here, though, I'd be looking up at this bigger pivot right here. So I use pivots to my left as my targets in a lot of cases. Or or for example, go down here like your prior day open, your prior day close. What you'll find is if you got a rotation, let me do this. If you get a rotation down below this prior day open, I call it a crossover pullback, and then you get a rotation back to here. So you have a space in your pricing, and then you sit right here. If I took a trade from that prior day's open to the short side, I would minimum be looking for my target to be these lines, because then what happens is they have a tendency to go from line to line, line to line, line to line. When you're doing moving average trades, which are these moving averages here, then you're looking for pivots to your left as your resistance area. Notice once we got through it, we came back. See how we notice once we got through this pivot here, we came back and tested this 9 again as we're walking our way up to here. And that's just, it's I call that the market breathing. We're expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting. These are much more stressful trades, in my opinion, than this, because these have a tendency to have a little bit more deliberateness to them, especially, now that it's 11:30. I mean, first of all, the market's slow today. I wouldn't even be looking for, any, fast movement. I mean, we are obviously just trending along. As a matter of fact, I mean, that's exactly what the ES doing. The ES just keeps rotating to new highs. Just keeps rotating to new highs. Just keep rotating to new highs. It's just comes back to that 9 EMA, sits on it, and it rotates up to a new high. Comes back to that 9 EMA, sits on it, rotates to a new high. But we got a problem over here in the MNQ because we are sitting at the prior day high and we're not pushing through it. And that's resistance. When you're coming from the bottom of that, that's resistance. If you bust through it in a breakout and then rotate, create space, and then come sit on top of the prior day high, now it becomes support. I don't know if I gave you the answer you're looking for, but that's just kind of how my mind works on these trades. But if you look at the RTY, you'll see what I'm talking about. It just followed that 9 EMA. It's very stressful because it's going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But it ultimately is doing exactly what I said it was going to do 5 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago. It's going back to the highs. There you go. There you go. I don't make it up. I just tell you what's going on. And and Avalon. Notice once we broke through that high, look what happened. No tick charts. Hell no. The stock market doesn't open off of a specific tick. It opens off of a specific time. By the way, look at that. Look what happened once it broke through that high. Look what happened. They were pushing it to that spot, and then they were liquidating. I mean, it's reading the tea leaves of what's going on. And I can read those tea leaves in time candles, not ticks. So as I said right in here, I said it right in here. This is where my target would be. So, well, so did everybody else that was in it. and they didn't push it through the top by one tick by accident. Now, this right here could be the sign of some algos kicking in. So let's just look at this. Okay, even though it's 11:30, this could be a perfect example of the algos kicking in. Because look at what they did. They created a new high, and they may rotate it right back to this red line. And if they rotate it back to this red line and create a pattern where you can get a break, then this will go from here back up to here. But we got to keep it going straight now. It's got to keep going straight down. Not straight because it is a red line, but it's got to keep coming down. And that's when the systems are kicking in and doing patterns, rinse, wash, repeat. And it's just being able to look at these charts long enough and recognize what the hell's going on and what the hell they're trying to do. And oh man, yeah, this just may do exactly that. Yeah, PMC, that's because it's just ugly trading right now. But we may be getting something deliberate right here. That I don't like the time, but I don't like the time of day. But two things I'm looking at right now. One is this pivot right here that created this rotation to here. Because I think we should be defending it to the north side. And then second is that we get a relatively smooth pullback to here, which so far for a 5-minute red line, this is beautiful so far. I had to dump the rest of that bad coffee out. Ugh. I will be going to the store and buying some cream today. I cannot stand coffee black. I love coffee. I'm addicted to it. Come on, RTY. Come on. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep us deliberate. Keep us deliberate. Oh yeah, this is looking pretty good. I hate the freaking time of day though. Just being honest, I literally hate this freaking time of day. But there's it's obvious this is being moved. Now, if I'm watching this, just for those of you listening, if I'm watching this rotation, if I'm watching this rotation and it's after 1 o'clock, then I'm not looking for the 5-minute red line to hold and rotate back to the high. I'm not looking for that, because what I'm expecting, since we're after 1 o'clock, is I'm expecting the market to start when we've had a long day, for example, like today, or a short day, like, whatever. I'm looking for the market to start contracting back to equilibrium. And therefore, well, you can also do the same thing on a 1-minute chart. You can tell that it's picking up because price is moving. I mean, it's easy to tell that this is low volume, this is high volume. You can do this. You can do the exact same thing in a minute candle by looking at the candle itself. And the only thing that's going to make me money is the movement of price. Equilibrium, Richard, is price moving back towards the overnight open. Yes. Doesn't mean price is going to go to the overnight open, but a lot of times it does, as you've seen. But it's price moving back towards the overnight open. Yeah. A lot of times the market really doesn't want to go anywhere. It's kind of funny, but the market really doesn't want to go anywhere. It's just moving to move. And so you have so many people that went long, and you had so many people that went short. And as they close out their positions, you head back to the overnight open. It's crazy. And to watch it happen so many times in my life, it's insane. And that's why I say, if price goes back to the overnight open and hangs out at the overnight open, I'm done trading, because the manipulation from one direction to another doesn't exist. And I need that manipulation to make money. I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be guessing the direction. And then even if I guess the direction right, since there's no manipulation, I'm not going to get any follow through. Can't make money without follow through. Even if I know right now that the market's going up from here, it doesn't mean shit if I have no follow through. Now I'm risking, $200 to basically get knocked out at even. Let's just say. My red line is an SMA, and it's a 21 SMA converted onto a 1-minute chart. So it's really a 105 SMA, because because my SMA is for a 5-minute chart. So what I'm trying to do, and that's why these 5-minute red line trades, I tell people this, they're a little bit more, you need to give them room, because in essence, the people using the 21 SMA at a 105, are using it off of a 5-minute chart with 21. But so I can see it on this chart, I use a 105 SMA, which is, 5 times the 121, so that I'm getting the same spot. But the people trading it are using a 5-minute candle, so their trade goes off of a 5-minute candle, not off of a 1-minute candle. So that's why I say you have to give these trades room, because they play themselves out after 5 minutes, when the 5 minutes change. So here you're at 45. The trade, this candle, this is a 5-minute candle, and on a 5-minute trader's chart is a consolidation of these candles right here. So their top is here and their bottom is here. And what you'll notice in that 5-minute sequence, if price starts to go up, let's just say, and I'm in it from here, what I'll notice is that when it breaks the top of the 5-minute sequence of candles to my left, that's when it accelerates to the long side, because that's what the 5-minute trader is trading off of. I hope I'm making sense. I might have said that in a confusing way, but basically so the 5-minute traders are seeing their candle that's forming right now as this their high, and this is their low. Okay. What I'm trying to do is take the trade based inside that 5 minutes, so that I don't have to be so far away from this line when I enter, because if you do that, then you have to have bigger stops to be in that trade, because the reality of it is this candle's integrity stays there until the bottom of that 5-minute candle gets broken. I hope I'm making sense. But this candle's integrity stays for a 5-minute trader until it either goes this way or it goes this way. And so what I look for is an opportunity to get in it in the internals of that 5-minute candle. So like right here, okay? Because keep in mind now, this is a new candle forming to a 5-minute trader. So let's just watch this, for example. So I would have taken this long normally, but so let's just watch this, okay? So this is a 5-minute trader. 5-minute trader, this is the first part of his candle. Now he's getting ready to hit the top of this 5-minute candle that's to his left. Okay. What a beautiful trade, by the way. Look at that. What a beautiful trade. So what a beautiful trade. So he's hit the top right now. He's hit the top. And what I'm waiting for is, like, if I'm a 5-minute trader, so you got to understand. So if I'm a 5-minute trader and I'm going to take the break of this candle, okay, I'm going to have to take an entry here, and my stop's going to be here. But since I've hybrid the 5-minute candle here, I'm in here, and my stop's here. And because I'm seeing inside the candle that we broke back up. Okay. And so I'm in earlier, so I have a smaller stop. And what should happen when we break this top, which we've hit it now twice, what should happen is price should hopefully accelerate out of that candle. Of course, we're doing it at freaking 11:50 in the morning, But that's conceptually the point of me having a 5-minute red line on a 1-minute chart. Okay, here we go. This should accelerate. Hopefully. There you go. So this is when the bigger money starts getting in. Now the bigger money is getting into trade, but you got in down here. Okay? And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. And I'm going to tell you something. I came up with that idea completely on my own. Because I used to get frustrated on a 5-minute chart. The 21 SMA works beautifully. I think you can see that right here. But I used to get frustrated that I had to have such big stop losses to trade this. Look at that. And so with this pattern, what should happen, and again, it depends on how much time it's going to take to migrate up. My opinion is it's not going to get all the way to here. I think it's going to come up and meander, and then it's going to roll back down and do that after 1 o'clock thing where it goes inside the 5-minute red line and then rotates down. But I mean, we should go up into this area, hopefully. This 9 EMA should hopefully come up and start holding it. But anyways, that's the trade. So, that's the concept of the 5-minute red line. And that trade has to have a deliberate pullback. And I told you about it. Well, Avalon, I told you about it here. You may not realize it, but I told you about it here because I said once they broke this pivot, sat on here, they were going to bring it here. And then when they broke that down, I said they're going to bring it here and they're going to bring it back up. Now, I don't think they're going to bring it up to here again. I don't believe so. That's my opinion. I don't believe there's enough energy in this market anymore to bring it back up to here. That's my opinion. But I mean, there's definitely enough energy in this rotation here to make some money. So, yeah. Oh, I love the 5-minute red line, man. The 5-minute red line, I'm telling you, when the market's moving, like when it has some steam to it, this trade is literally this one. And I showed you, look at this, 2 inside bars here, 2 in a row. Boom, boom. And then bam, from there to there, when the market's moving, from there to there, you're looking at 10, 16, you're looking at $650 when the market's got some movement to it. That's a beautiful trade. And I literally told you where it was going to happen. I literally told you what the setup was. I mean, there it is. Now, my only hesitation in this whole thing is I don't know how much leg it's going to have because this market is so slow today and so dormant. But usually in general, when you break out of that 5-minute candle thing, it just starts getting some leg because big money usually jump. 5-minute traders trade with bigger money than 1-minute traders, in my opinion. And they have a tendency to push it more. Lovely. That's beautiful. That's my best call of the day right there. Anyways, I hope everybody got a little bit of something out of this. Now this finally, all morning long, this finally was the first deliberate thing that actually happened. That was truly deliberate, that hit our lines. By the way, the ES did the same thing. Ironically, the ES pierced the 5-minute red line too, and it did it. Oh, keep this in mind too. Remember, I told you this. It was imperative, in my opinion, that we kept this pivot north of this pivot. And by the way, the ES did the exact same thing. It kept that pivot north of that pivot. on its trade too. And there we go. We're just migrating our way up. And all you got to do is have the patience to wait till you get these big rotations, this obvious market manipulation right here, to then know what they're trying to do and then take the trade and then book your profits and call it a day. I mean, and once you figure out how to sit on your hands until something like this happens, it's like, I mean, I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to say it's simple. The hardest part is between the ears. But once you can recognize the rotations and what's going on, man, I'm telling you, even at 11:30, 11:45, we have yet to test the top of the 9 EMA on this rotation. But this trade is a 5-minute candle trade. Internals of that 5 minutes. Big, huge stop loss to trade 5-minute candles. Yeah, that one's pretty close. The actual ES one pierced it. This one's right on the line here. Yeah, that was a little short, but it had the same, it's doing the same thing. But yeah, it held above that pit. Well, this one's pivots are a little different. Here, I'll show you the ESs. Let me pull this one over. So here's the ES. Here's the pivot that brought us to the new high, and it kept rotating up, and then boom. And we held north of that pivot. You don't have to do that, but that makes the trade in my opinion, more appealing. Anyways, so there you go. Now you're sitting on top of the 9. As long as the 9 can keep pushing it up, you can make some more money. But like I said, I do not expect with today's market movement that you're going to get back up to here. It's just my opinion. I just don't see it. There's just not much energy. All right. I hope somebody got something off that. Oh my God, Richard. Yeah. Now, being wrong, let me tell you something. That is the number one challenge I face in trading, is being wrong, is being willing. And it's not that you're wrong. That's what I had to get myself to understand. It's not that I'm wrong. It's just something else was going on in the market at that time that I didn't recognize. I had to, Anyways, yeah, look at that beautiful, beautiful 5-minute red line trade. Beautiful 5-minute red line trade. But that actually set up perfectly for me to explain, and you guys can see it when it came out of this box. Then it came, it had a nice shoot up, because now this is the 5-minute candle here consolidated. If I had a 5-minute chart on here, that would be the candle right there. I drew the lines to the top and the bottom of it, and now we're migrating our way up with the big money traders. Yeah, we're with the big money traders now. And see, the thing is we got in on the internals. We got in here. They were getting in here. Okay. That was actually exciting. It took all the way to the end of the day to see something exciting, but that was actually exciting. And when the market's slow, it's like it is, right now, the 5-minute red line is a great instrument to trade personally when the market's slow, because I talk about this. It is the one that sets the tone of the direction. So as long as you're using it as a repellent, i.e. like the 9 EMA, you're using it as a bug repellent to repel price away from it, then the side that you're repelling it from is the direction of the market that you're trying to keep it. And so you can get in as the bug repellent right here. You repelled the bug, and then now you're sitting here and you're looking for some place to, take your profits of $300, $400, $500. I mean, shoot, you know what I mean? $600, $800, whatever. And your 9, as I talk about, once you cross over and you get on top of your 9 becomes your friend, because your 9 starts pushing price with it. And remember, order of operations. I've talked about this also. You gotta recognize which lines are more powerful than others. The 5-minute red line is more powerful than the gold line. That's why you can take this trade into the gold line, and it'll go through the gold line and then sit on top, and then it becomes your friend. All right. I should probably go sell a house today so I can make some money. I hope somebody got something out of this. I can't do a live stream tomorrow because I actually do have to go sell a house. But I will definitely be setting one of these up for Monday. Again, about 9:45. And we can hopefully see some better patterns. Remember, last Monday was much better than, today or even yesterday. I mean, the markets, I said this a while ago, the markets seem to be hot at the beginning of the week and they kind of get dormant at the end of the week. This thing's going to prove me wrong, isn't it? By the way, this thing's going to prove me wrong. This thing's going to prove me wrong. You dog, you're going to prove me wrong, go all the way to the top? Oh, baby, look at that. You're going to prove me wrong. I said I didn't think it was going to get there. Look at that dog. It's almost there. Wow. Now, again, if you let it rotate over and let it sit on that 9 and then let the 9 push it, you could be following the back of these candles all the way to that target. So when this candle here got broken through the top, you could have your stop here. When this candle here got broken through the top, you can have your stop here. And you're looking for your bigger target, because once it starts running, it's either going to run in a straight line or it's going to rotate over. So if you had your target there, your stop's right here because you just broke the top of this candle. And then boom, now you're out and you made your money. Man, you just made $650 or whatever. Yep. All right, everybody. I am going to shut down for the day. Look at that. Oh my God. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And it did again, not to harp, because I'm not trying to harp, but it did a better job at it than the ES. The ES is still, making its way, but I really do like the RTY. When it makes its mind up on something it wants to do, it does it more deliberately than the ES. It really does. And it does it less skittishly than the NQ. Because the NQ, man, I'm telling you, that thing can make you money fast. Boy, it can cost you money fast. Yeah. Amity Jones. Yes, exactly. All right, everybody. I'm going to shut this down and I will see you guys maybe Monday. Well, I'm going to try to start this up Monday. Maybe I'll have a little bit clear mind to fix our look at that, by the way. Look at the rejection of the NQ again. Jesus. To fix maybe the visual so it's a little clearer. And it seems fine on my screen, but I mean, I don't know. Anyways, everybody have a good day.